Hey everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Showroom podcast. I am Mike Davenport and I am joined by my lovely wife, Andy.
Not sure with this whole stay-at-home order, quarantine, whatever you want to call it, if I'm still the lovely wife.
Look, Scott Baker said, great audio tonight. I'll tell you, you can kind of see him right here for the live streamers. It's all the way up. I got it all the way maxed out. I need to probably get somebody in here to maybe help me on stuff like that. And Steve, thanks for the 20 on the super chat for the live stream. We live stream every single Tuesday night at 7 p.m. And the audio portion goes out to your favorite podcasting platform at 6 a.m. every Wednesday morning. Today's episode, you guys have been asking for this. This has been a huge topic of discussion, and I'm really excited to do it because I've been researching it to basically be able to talk about layman's terms and not get into, crazy like industrial terms that maybe you don't understand. And so that kind of takes me a little bit of time to make me not get into industry terms, which I actually do want to do a video on industry terms. I've already got the title of it, but I've never done it yet. So we're going to talk about extended warranties and other items sold in the finance office at the local car dealership. We're talking about gap insurance. I had someone text in tire warranties or comment on tire warranties. You had a couple of them, didn't you?
We've had extended warranties, CPO.
Certified pre-owned, yep. We can't use CPO. Not everybody knows what CPO means.
Sorry. That's where being in the dealership and being around you for 20 years, I get some of that lingo and understand it.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's okay. So we've had a few things come in, and a couple of topics that I'm definitely going to talk about tonight are 5 questions to ask before you say yes, scams to look out for and what to watch for, best time to buy one. This is always a huge topic of discussion, best time to buy one if you feel the need, and the 2 types of warranties. There's only 2 types of warranties, and people probably aren't going to know these terms, but we're going to talk about them. And but before we get into it, we need to pay the bills. So you guys know, the huge sponsor of the Beyond the Showroom podcast and the live stream is Surfshark. So save 83% off, free month with Surfshark using the code ChevyDude. And basically, you guys got to secure your digital life. There's so much information out there, and we talk about it on this channel all the time, the scams that people do. Well, there's a lot of digital scams out there, and having a VPN does a huge thing. And a big misnomer is that the VPN slows down. Well, with Surfshark, you can connect to the fastest and most reliable VPN server out there. So hotels, airlines, more have different prices based off of where you're connected from. So you can connect from a country that maybe doesn't have the best resources, and you get a lower price when you're doing that. And like someone in Canada gets different programming on Netflix than we do, and vice versa. So you can connect out of Canada and get some good Netflix stuff going on, and vice versa, USA. So I wanted to use you to Surfshark VPN when I'm using public Wi-Fi, hotel Wi-Fi, airport, on my cell phone. I want a VPN to secure encrypt my data. I'm sending a new feature when using Surfshark. It's called Hack Life. It provides an extra layer of security. Hack Life scans databases for possible email and password leaks, also providing you with real-time alerts. Any information that's leaked and found available online. So here's the best VPN deal for my viewers. Surfshark. Get Surfshark VPN at surfshark.deals/ChevyDude. Enter promo code ChevyDude. You'll get 83% off and 1 extra month of free subscription. The minimal cost you spend on this is going to way outweigh the benefits of your peace of mind and security. I'm talking like this is like $5, guys. Okay, this is like super cheap. So use the link in the description with the code ChevyDude for these amazing savings, and thank you, of course, to Surfshark for sponsoring this video. You can text your topic-related questions into 502-909-5192. I do suggest or stress topic-related, right, Mrs. ChevyDude?
Yes. If you want to answer tonight.
Yep. We get hundreds and hundreds of text messages come through here. We try to get to them all. So anytime that we can't get to it, just because we have so many coming in. So if you want to guarantee your questions get answered, feel free to use the super chat feature or become a member of the channel. And when you're a member of the channel, you have a little logo right next to your name, and we see that too, and that sticks out to us here on our side of the screen. So again, join us every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. on the Chevy Dude YouTube channel for our live broadcast, and then every single morning Wednesday at 6 a.m. Eastern time, we push this to all of our fantastic podcasting platforms. Down in the link as well, there's a car buying template click on that. I'll email that right over to you. I email you 8 tips to make sure you get the best car deal and a few other freebies as well. So let's get into the very first one that we're going to talk about. Let's talk about the 2 types of warranties. There are only 2 types of warranties available to you. Do you know what they are, Mrs. Chevy Dude?
Warranties?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to me, everything's an extended warranty.
Yes. There are 2 types, and one is called exclusionary and one is called stated coverage. So exclusionary is exactly what it sounds like. It's exclusionary. Pretty much covers everything. There's no such thing as a warranty that covers 100% of the parts on a car. It just doesn't happen. So exclusionary warranty is going to be your closest one, and sometimes even better than the factory warranty, right? So, and we're going to explain how you can get a better than factory warranty on a car. So with that being said, when you have an exclusionary warranty, they basically tell you what's not covered on the car, where a stated coverage is exactly that. It states what is covered. So let's talk about exclusionary warranties a little bit. Exclusionary warranties you're typically going to find on brand new cars or cars that are under some type of manufacturer warranty. So I don't know all the warranty companies out there. I don't follow a lot of them. I can't possibly read on all of them. But I can tell you with the exclusionary part with my dealership is it's got to be one of the best warranty companies out there. We don't have any issues with it. We don't have any customer complaints with it. Everything happens really, really smoothly. But the reason why is because it's very much stated what's not covered. And what's not covered is silly itty bitty things is what I was trying to say. Right?
Yeah. Can you talk tonight?
I can talk. I think I can talk. I'm going to try.
Okay, let's shorten it up a little bit.
Shorten it up a little bit. Okay. So, but with that, what's not covered under these exclusionary warranties, again, my company that I use would be paint, trim pieces, glass, upholstery, clutch on a manual transmission car. I would guess, since the C8's here, I guess that's a question I should ask. I never thought about this, but dual clutch transmissions, I would imagine, do the clutches get covered under that? They say the exclusionary part, they say clutch and pressure plate.
But on a manual, you're pushing the clutch in yourself and everything. I mean, this dual clutch system is still an automatic car.
It is still automatic transmission, but it's basically 2 manual transmissions in there.
Yeah, but I would think they would have to cover. I mean,
I'll have to ask my warranty company that.
I can understand on a manual transmission car because some people will sit there and hold that clutch in forever, just constantly putting it in. Some people, they just do silly things with it. I remember when I had my Toyota Tercel, I could sit there and shift gears without putting the clutch in. Yeah,
well, I can still do that today with the C7. Yes,
I haven't tried.
Yeah, you can do it. You can pretty much change gears and going 2nd through 7th in the C7. You can pretty much do that. So it's stuff like that, stuff like you wouldn't expect. Windshield wiper blades, wearable parts, they get down to it. So something that's never covered under warranty would be emissions stuff. Emissions is a federal government thing, and what is stated on the new car is the only thing the emissions stuff is ever covered for. So oxygen sensors and stuff like that, you're never going to have those covered under any type of new or used car warranty, which is the exclusionary warranty, which would be new car coverage, and the used car coverage, which would be stated coverage. So that's why we're going to talk about these. We're going to talk about new car warranty, let me say that again. Exclusionary warranty is going to be covered Now I can't talk, Andy. That's crazy. So new car coverage is going to be referencing to exclusionary. Used car coverage is going to be referenced to stated coverage. So that's how we're going to put those into user-friendly layman terms terminology. New car, used car. We're not talking about a new car with 1 mile on it and brand new, nobody's owned it. We're talking about a 59,900 mile, 4-year-old Chevrolet that still has, just a couple miles of powertrain left on it. So that powertrain warranty with our warranty company allows us to sell new car coverage, which is good. So the terms on these are very, very important as well. So which we're going to get into the questions you need to ask. the finance manager or whomever you're buying these from, because you can buy them from third-party companies as well out there. But the stated coverage, used car warranty, is exactly that. They tell you what is covered, right? Kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah.
So
you got to read it.
Yeah, got to read it. You got to know what you're getting into, right? So I'm not always a huge fan of used car warranties because I think it puts you at risk for something not covered. But what is covered typically is the most expensive things. And a powertrain warranty would be considered stated coverage, right? So a used car warranty. So there are different levels of stated coverage. You can get something that is a premium that they state that covers most items on the vehicle, the vast majority of them. And then you can get a level down, and then all the way down to powertrain warranty as well. A lifetime warranty that you get that a lot of dealers sell are stated coverage. So with that being said, you're going to have that be handled as well. With all of that stuff, there's really 5 questions you need to ask yourself before you say yes, if that is the case that you feel that you want to get an extended warranty on your new or used car. Now, I will say this as well. Now, do you think warranties are a good idea to purchase on a car?
I would say I think it can be. I mean, it was helpful when we had our Pontiac GXP.
Yep.
But other times it has not been helpful. I think we had something go wrong with the Volkswagen Bug that our daughter had, and it wasn't covered under warranty. And we're just like, well, let's just get rid of that.
Right. I just figured for the cost, and I was going to, I was doing it for her. So that way, if something happened, that I was covering her. But I have warranty on the C7. We have warranty on daughter's Cruise. We have warranty on daughter's Bug. I do not have a warranty on the C8 because I plan on heavily modding this car, and I don't plan on having it very long as well, which is we're going to get into that.
And unfortunately, we do not have a warranty on the Tesla because Tesla will not allow extended warranties unless you purchase the car from them.
And then no other company will offer it because it's so expensive to fix those cars, and the risk is out there. Which we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about what do you buy one? Do you not buy one? Do you when you say yes, when do you say no? Right. So that's what we're going to talk about. So 5 questions you want to ask before you say yes on extended warranty. I think the biggest question out there is who stands behind the warranty. Okay. So you can ask this to the finance managers that you're doing your paperwork with. You can ask someone like at the bank or the credit union or your insurance company. There's extended warranties are all over the place. I think I read a stat while I was doing this research that's like a $41 billion company or $41 billion industry in the United States. And I think that could be your warranties for your appliances at Best Buy and all of that stuff, not just on cars. So, but with that being said, you need to know who stands behind this. So
you mean those letters you get in the mail all the time are not good people to be buying from?
Now you're jumping ahead. We're going to talk about scams in this.
Hey.
In this, you're blowing the whole podcast here.
I'm just trying to get you keep moving.
All right. So, so you need to know who stands behind the warranty. So, let's say you go to Best Buy and you buy an extended warranty. Is Best Buy backing that up, or is a third party? You don't know that. That's a good question to ask. You got Square Trade out there. Is Square Trade actually the warranty company, or do they use a third party to administer it? That's the type of things you have to ask. Now, I think with those two companies, those are, and I'm just talking about, with appliances and stuff that they offer, but I think those are 2 pretty big names that you can trust that maybe you don't have to ask that question on. So that's where it's coming into the car dealership, is who backs this warranty. So a lot of dealers will say, hey, we own it, right? They don't technically own it. They own part of it. And it may be 50 or 60 or 70 dealerships in the group. And so with that being said, they say they own it as because it's in a big conglomerate, and it could be thousands of dealerships in that. So that's just one thing that you need to understand. And so who stands behind this warranty? So if it's obviously Chevrolet, then perfect. We have a little bit of confidence in Chevrolet to stand behind their warranty. But the biggest thing you have to worry about is, are they going out of business? So what is that something we can talk about?
It's just a super chat. It's Chico the vlogger says, "Hey Chevy dude, thanks for everything. Love watching your streams. You inspire me to create a channel." And $30 isn't, well, basically all he can do, and
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Chico the vlogger, I love it. So thanks for it's actually 60 US, I think. So so you need to know who stands behind these warranties. That's extremely important. So one thing I will suggest is you just gotta be careful. You gotta Google them, right? If like our company that we use is called Ethos. That is a dealership owned warranty group by a big conglomerate, but a bunch of dealerships buy into it, just like I said. So we have a little bit of leeway that maybe something shouldn't be covered, but maybe you're that great customer of ours and you buy a warranty every single time, and that last warranty it didn't work for you. You didn't make any claims. We can go in there and say, yeah, we're going to cover this, right? So we have ways to do that. And that's why it's important to understand who does this and who administers it and who stands behind the warranty. Do you know what's covered? We just talked about that. So you got to know what's covered. You have to understand this 100% before you say yes. You don't want to go in there and just because they pitched it to you and said, hey, for $6 extra per month on your car payment, that you can be covered this, right? Understand 100% of what is covered. And the best resource to do this is look at the actual contract. The contract that you sign is going to be what is binding, okay? A brochure is good. A brochure is really, really good. But as in an outdated brochure, we don't know. You don't know. I don't know sometimes. I may have brochures sit in my office for 2 weeks or 2 months or 2 years. And all of a sudden our rep comes in and says, that's a brochure we replaced 6 months ago. Oh, okay. I don't know what's changed. They may have just changed up colors. They may have changed up verbiage. I don't know. So the brochure is good as general information, but that service contract that you're going to sign is dead on verbatim exactly what's covered on that contract or what's not covered if you're looking at a new car warranty. So understand 100% what's covered.
Well, and with that new car warranty, also know that that warranty starts after the manufacturer warranty, correct?
Yes and no. So with that being said, you are buying a new car warranty, say for 7 years, 100,000. There are several warranties on a new car that kicks in. Say brakes are 12,000 miles, right? Glass is 12,000 miles 1 year. Now glass isn't going to be covered under extended warranty.
I was going to say, but brakes aren't even covered.
Brake calipers are and stuff like that. So there are several warranties inside of a new car that people don't realize. They just hear 3 year 36 bumper to bumper. Well, there's warranties inside those warranties that stop at certain time frame because they're considered wearable items or whatnot. So there are parts on a new car coverage that cover more than the manufacturer's warranties. So not necessarily goes on. And I think a big misnomer or big misconstrued is that you're paying for time that you don't get. But we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
That's what I was like, so if you were buying an extended warranty that, I guess it wouldn't be stated as 3 years, 36,000 miles if it was on a new car, because that's the same amount of time a normal warranty, manufacturer warranty is. So why would you even buy it?
Yeah, you wouldn't even see that, right? Now you may see like 3 years, 100, say somebody drives 30,000 miles a year, right? So now they're not worried about the time, they're worried about the mileage. So if we consult them and look at them and they're like, hey, listen, I drive 30,000 miles a year. Okay, well, in 3 years, you're going to be at 100,000. So we'll sell you a 3 year, 100,000 mile warranty. So that's where that can come in play on those new car coverages. So it comes back to, when things are available to you and what your driving habits are like. So, have you shopped around? So this does not really ever come up to play. This is something that's very, very, very low, like probably less than 1%. This is going to come up when you already own a car and you're like, you know what, that extended warranty or my manufacturer's warranty or that CPO warranty or the dealership's warranty is about ready to expire, and I want to be covered because my car's had this problem or whatever the case may be.
So how do you shop around?
So there's all sorts of websites out there, right? So there are all sorts of coverages out there and whatnot. And you can simply call dealerships, right? If you call a dealership and talk to somebody in finance, they're going to be happy to offer you an extended warranty. So the way the finance managers get paid is based off of selling you warranties and selling you their product that they have in their office. So what happens, what in most finance managers pay is they get paid off of what's called a percentage, a PRU, product retail per unit. So if they sell 2 pieces of product per every car they sell, they're doing pretty good. But 3 and 4, they're doing great. So if there's no car deal associated with it and you come in, you buy a warranty, that helps out their PRU. So they love that. They love selling extended warranties when there's no car deal because it's kind of like extra credit in class. Okay. You got 110% on your test. It's like, well, how do you get 110%? There's only 100 points, right? You had that extra credit. So when they sell an extended warranty on a car that they don't do the paperwork with or the dealership doesn't sell, that's like extra credit. So you can shop around by calling dealers, and don't be afraid to call a Toyota dealer if you have a Chevy. Now the Toyota dealers will be like, well, why are you calling us, right? That's so far out in left field because it doesn't happen. But you never know what a manufacturer has because a Toyota dealership sells used Chevrolets. So you can call that Toyota dealership and say, hey, listen, I got a used Chevrolet or a Chevy with 30,000 miles or 40,000 miles or whatever. And do you guys sell warranties on that? Oh yeah, we sure do, right? And they may be a little bit more aggressive on doing that. So that's how you can shop around. That's how you can get there. Another thing is the proper history on the vehicle. Do you know that this car has high repair costs? Do you see stuff on the internet that people are always talking about something happening to the car? Cars are very traditional and things happen, right? We can go back to the Corvette right now, pretty much 17, 18, 19, we've got shudder in the transmission, torque converter issues, right? So now you might like, I might want to get a warranty for that $5,000 to $7,000 transmission. I don't know I can't remember what a transmission costs, but I'd imagine somewhere between certainly $3,000 and $7,000. I said 5 and 7, but we can back that down and try to be a little conservative like I normally am, with parts and labor and everything, $3,000 to $7,000. I'm sure. I had an instance where, unfortunately, I couldn't sell this lady extended warranty. Her credit was so bad that I would never, ever, ever, I'll never sell this car again. A Ford Taurus X. I think it was called a Freestar as well. I think they rebadged as a Freestyle or Freestar.
Freestyle sounds
I think so. I would never, ever sell one of those cars again. The transmissions are $7,000 to fix. And I sold this woman a car, not knowing this. She needed a three-row vehicle. She's a great customer of mine today, right? So she's bought a car from me again, and her mom has and stuff like that. But about 2 years into it, the transmission blew up. And it was no fault of anybody's, just what happened. I didn't know that it happened, or else I wouldn't have sold her. But that was the only car that we had available to her in order to get her wheels. So that was it. That was it. So we couldn't do anything different. And 2 years down the road, the transmission blew up, and the owners of our company just bent over backwards to help her out, without, spending $7,000 on a transmission. But we tried to find used ones. We tried to find rebuilt ones and stuff like that. And so that's the things you got to look at too. Is like, how much is this transmission in this brand new Corvette? How much is this 10-speed transmission in the brand new Silverado, right? That's things you got to look at. Those are catastrophic things that I think the fail rate is very, very low on. But what happens is a sensor always going bad in a car, right? Stuff like that. So that's kind of things you need to look at and know the history of a car. Obviously, if it's a brand new car, you can't really look at history, but we can go backwards and see that 14 Silverados have some hiccups that first year. And so I would say buy an extended warranty on a 14 Silverado. Same way with a couple of the Ford F-150s and stuff like that. And I think the fifth question of the 5 questions you should ask would be, do you really need it? And do you really need it comes into play with so many different scenarios. I think that scenario that you just mentioned, well, I'm going to keep my car for 3 years. Do I really need it? If you drive 3 years, 36,000 miles, then no, you don't need it. If you lease a car, you don't need it on a lease. Now, there are lease warranties that you can purchase. So that way, say you have a 3-year, 45,000 mile years lease, 3 year lease that you can drive 45,000 miles. You're going to be outside of that extended warranty from 36,000 to 45,000. So you got a little bit of risk there. Those warranties sometimes are really, really inexpensive that you can buy for a few $100 sometimes. So now you can look at it. Well, for a few $100, I don't have to put money into a car that I don't own, that I'm not going to buy. Now you can look at it and be like, okay, well, that's what it is. Sometimes those warranties go into play that they cover excess wear and tear as well. Dents, dings, scratches, tires that need to be replaced, all stuff like that. Sometimes those go into play as well. So that way, do it. GM Financial, I don't know if they still do it. We don't do a lot of leasing at our dealership, but GM Financial, if you did their lease match program, which is exactly what I just mentioned, their lease care program, they would waive your disposition fee. So at the end of it as well. And then they would pay for a few 100 miles over as well. So say you went like you had $500 in over mileage charge, they would just waive that by buying that. So, you take 25 cents times 500, you have that stuff right there. So who stands behind the warranty? Do you know what's covered? Have you shopped the best price? Proper history of the vehicle you're covered? And do you really need it? Those are definitely the 5 questions you need to ask yourself, not the dealership, yourself, on all these things answered, and is it worth it to buy? So you already brought up something. You just want to talk about
which part did I bring up? Because I got some other stuff to be bringing up too.
You blew one of my my scenarios. I was going to talk about scams.
I'm just that good. I don't even know what you have written over there, but I just know. I mean, we get it weekly, if not multiple times a week.
I got a phone call today on it, didn't I? Was it today?
You got some phone call.
Yeah, I got a 502 area code phone number, which I don't have a 502 phone number, and 502 is where Louisville is. And so I answer it because it's like, well, I'm here. But they might be calling my Google Voice number. So my Google Voice number flips over to is a 502 area code, and that flips over to that phone. So they probably calling that 502. I just realized that. So what you got a question over there? Let's see what one of your questions are.
Well, there's been some discussion about what you thought about CarShield.
I don't know anything about them. I'm familiar with them. I think they're one of the really big advertising people out there. Did you look them up at all?
No, I've seen some commercials. I don't know if it was CarShield that I see the commercials for when I've been at the gym. It probably is.
Yeah.
They're constantly, talking about how they have basically an extended warranty.
Yeah, I mean, they got a 4.3 rating on Google out of 2,600 reviews, so I mean that tells you a little bit about it. But here's my take on that is I would not buy an extended warranty from someone that I can't see face to face, because if something gets declined on that, I can walk in to a dealership and talk to that manager or talk to that service guy and be like, I bought this from you. Why isn't this covered? So a lot of times, if anything is over $1,000 on extended warranties, even on GM stuff, GM has their threshold. But if something is over $1,000 on our extended warranty, they automatically send somebody out to inspect the car to make sure that it's not modded, it's not damaged, it's not, something that they, did on their own, self-inflicted injuries, stuff like that. So my take on it, my personal opinion is buy from someone that you can see face to face and buy from someone that you can trust. I don't think you should buy warranties from like your banks or your credit unions. Maybe your insurance agent is a good idea. You can look at that. That's someone that you have a relationship with. But if you use like Geico and you just call the phone number, which a lot of people don't, a lot of people just use national numbers. I wouldn't do Progressive or Geico or anything like that, because having a body shop at the dealership, I know how those people pay, and they try to decline claims, or they try to do goofy things and stuff like that as well, or they try to use used parts or not OEM parts and stuff like that. So that's another reason to go right to the dealership to look at it as well, is because the dealership, if it's their warranty, they're getting paid retail on parts and labor, so they're going to do everything correct. So, and that's the nice thing about it, is even if you are a mechanic, okay, I get this all the time. I sell mechanics extended warranties because their time is valuable and their time is worth something. So if their own car breaks down, yes, they can fix it. Well, they get paid retail for the part and retail for the labor. The mechanic's not going to write himself $100 an hour check if he's got 2 hours worth of labor on this part, and he's going to pay cost. He's going to pay wholesale for a part that's done. Well, now he pays wholesale for it, bills it to the extended warranty company for retail, and he also gets his time reimbursed for putting that in as well if he's the shop owner, right? So he can do that. He can do that as well. So I do sell a lot of extended warranties to companies as well. I do sell extended warranties to people who mod their cars also. Our warranty at our dealership, it does not warranty the mods, but say you turbo your engine and put nitrous on it and stuff like that, your engine isn't going to be covered, most likely your transmission, but that expensive radio that's in these current model cars, heated seats, sensors, stuff like that, that stuff will all be covered for you with no problem as well, which is nice. So talk about scams. So we get these phone calls every single day. Robocalls, your extended warranty is up, stuff like that. You got the letters.
I love the letters that come on vehicles you no longer own.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Love that.
I haven't owned this in 5 years, but hey, thanks.
Yeah. So where do you think they get that information from?
BMV records.
Oh, how'd you know that? I didn't think you'd know that.
I'm smart. That's how I know.
Smart. You probably heard me talk to customers about it.
No, I'm just smart.
No, don't come on now.
Hey, don't try to diss me on
all right
live. I would say TV, but it's not really TV.
Yeah, internet, live internet. That's live internet. So, these companies buy BMV records, DMV records, Secretary of State records, whatever you call it in your state. And because that's all public records, right? So they can buy this stuff from the DMV. Yes, the DMV sells your information. They don't just collect tax money from you. They sell your information to make money from there. Do you seriously think Papa John's is profitable at selling $10 pizzas? No, they sell your information.
When do they sell $10 pizzas?
Well, they used to. So, but, they're data right now, your personal information is more valuable than almost any product out there. So, so the pizza companies are really infamous for selling your product. Why? Do you know why that would be?
No, I mean,
because what are you giving the pizza company 100% of the time, 100% truthful? Your phone number, your name, where you live, and your email address. Why? Because you want that pizza delivered, you want that pizza done right, and we're all doing it through an app, right? So that's 100% legit information. So with my customer retention management tool, my CRM at work, I put in your phone number, I click a little button, it pulls your information up right away. I don't even need to ask you anything else. If I know your phone number, I can get your address and everything just that quick. So it's kind of interesting. So these phone calls, these emails, these snail mail things, those are all junk. Those are all trash. Every single one of them are. Never, ever, ever, ever buy a warranty from any company that does that. I get this all the time, and it looks just like GM stuff. It's got a blue box, and it says warranty administrator, like it says WA in the box rather than GM. And I have people come in, especially older people. Older people fall for this stuff all the time, which typically they're the ones that fall for scams anyways. But I have people all the time. It's like, Mike, I just bought this car from you 60 days ago. I thought I bought an extended warranty, but this is saying my warranty's expired. And so I just gotta tell them, like, hey, it's trash, just throw it away 100% of the time. I don't even question about it. It's like, I get it every day. I get people to call me every single day and ask me about these. Just throw them away. They're not worth the paper they're wrote on. And then what I do is service to my customers is I look it up and I'm like, yeah, you did buy an extended warranty. You're good for, 72 months, 100,000 miles from the day you bought it to the mileage on the odometer. And then if they didn't buy one, then I revisit it. I'm like, hey, listen, did you want to buy one? This has got your concern that you're out of warranty. So what it is, most of the time though, I would say probably 90+% of the time, people who are calling me have already bought one. So they're good, and I don't ever sell them. So I do get paid off of extended warranties. And just to be full disclosure, at my dealership, obviously, anywhere else outside my dealership, I don't get paid on it. I get paid $30, right? So it's not a ton of cash. So that's just my full disclosure, my full transparency in this. But what I do and what I've always done in the car business had zero to do with income, because my firm belief is that if I go in and I do my job ethically and morally right, that everything else will come naturally. My income will come naturally. Everything will come. My sales will come naturally. I don't have to worry about doing things shady or sidetracked and whatnot. So just full disclosure and full transparency on it.
So what else can I buy? I mean, I think we've talked the extended warranty to death. So what else can I buy?
So a lot of dealers will offer you dent ding protection, key replacement protection. Some of those are good. I'm not always a big fan of the dent ding protection, just because I have behind the scenes insider knowledge, right? So, a dent wholesale wise, a big dent, the size of a baseball, right? You're talking less than $100 to fix. So if that dent ding coverage is $800 or $500 or $600, it's up in the air. How often do we get dents taken out of our car? The little Johnny, hits it with the bicycle and, or some idiot opens up their door at the Target and whacks your door. You look at it, you're mad for a minute, and then you just move on, and then it just becomes one with the car, and you forget about it. You don't even see it anymore. So what I always tell everybody is, like, get it if you want, because it wouldn't cover hail damage, but if it's slight hail damage, it's not going to be covered on our insurance. You can get that pulled out. So that's could save you a lot of money. And then just the fact that, you don't have a relationship with the dealership and they're not willing to help you on their wholesale level, and these retail guys are going to charge you retail, you might get it. There's some stuff that are pretty hard. Aluminum vehicles, very, very, very hard to get dents out of aluminum. I had a customer, we have aluminum hoods on our Silverados back in the last generation, and a softball hit the top of the Silverado hood and put a big dent in it, and we could never get it out because it just was too big. And aluminum doesn't have memory. So gap insurance, if you don't put at least 20% down, you definitely want to get gap insurance. Key replacement.
What does gap insurance do?
Gap insurance covers you in the event of a total loss. So the best way that I can explain it for listening and not have a diagram is, say you owe $30,000 on your car, but at the time of your total loss, if it's accident, fire, flood, whatever the case may be, the insurance company is only willing to give you $20,000, and you have a loan on your car, right? So if you have a loan on your car for $30,000, it's worth $20,000. There's a gap in between what it's worth and what your payoff is. Negative equity when we're trading water under your loan. So your responsibility, your obligation to the bank, since that car is total loss, is pay that off immediately. So you now owe the bank $10,000. No pass go, no collect $200. You owe it today. No making payments on it, stuff like that. So because they have to give their title up. You have to give your title up to the insurance company as a total loss. So gap insurance would cover that $10,000 for you that quick. So that's where that comes into play. And like I said, it's very, very good to do. I'm making payments on my C8, and I have gap insurance on that because I think I'm good at this. I decided not to put any money down on this because I don't plan on having it very long, and I want to keep my liquid capital so I can mod and stuff like that. So, my ground effects are $6,000. So, that I have. So that's $6,000 I could put towards that down payment wise, and not be able to put $6,000 worth of ground effects on my car or put it on a credit card and pay a high interest on that, or take it out of a, savings account or whatever the case may be. So it's really important. I played with my money a little bit, which I do all the time, but,
your money.
Oh, my bad. Your money, right?
Yes.
Oh, my bad.
It's my money.
I make it, you get it. So
I told you.
What's yours is mine. What's mine is yours. Is that what it is?
This morning it was, you don't get to drive my cars. I'll let you make the payments on them, but you can't drive them.
He did say that this morning to me. So yeah, this social distancing is isolation. What do they call? What are they calling this? Self what are they calling it?
No, it's quarantine.
Self quarantine. Yeah.
No, we're not really self quarantined because technically neither one of us are sick. So there's no reason that we have to 100% stay home and not be around anybody else.
Right.
So it's
Tom said most insurance companies do offer gap insurance. They do, but it kind of seems like a conflict of interest, right? So you can talk to them and see what it costs. But like with ours, it covers the deductible on your insurance up to $1,000 as well. So if you experience a total loss, and your deductible is due, then you don't have to do it. And then sometimes those gap coverages come back and they give you money towards purchasing the car at the dealership again as well. So there's a couple possibilities it's beneficial to go through the dealership to do it, but it's the same thing. Shop around, ask, stuff like that. So different states govern the cost of gap insurance, and so some states can get crazy, $1,000, $1,500, which $1,000, $1,500 is way too much for gap insurance, but it is what it is. So tires for life, oil changes for life. I'm not a big fan of those in any way, shape, or form. The reason why is because if that company goes out of business, then we are really, really messed up of a dealership having to pay someone, for oil changes and stuff like that. So it's really important to know what that stuff is really worth. So like my daughter's Volkswagen, she has 10 years of oil changes she can use at every 10 oil changes she does for 100,000 miles for every 10,000 miles she drives. So that's something I did for her because she's young and she doesn't have to budget on that. And right now, luckily, she's working. But if she needed an oil change, she may let that $7,500 oil change not happen on her car, which is more harmful than her being out of money, I guess. But so I didn't want to do that. She's got a warranty on her car. Again, a lot of people who pay car payments are budget minded. So therefore, they're only interested in what it costs them per month.
Yes, she's very budget minded because she didn't like the surprise. And, this is the first car that she has had to pay for herself. And the first car she's having to register every year with Indiana herself and pay those fees. And she didn't like that surprise when I told her 2 weeks prior. And she's like, I didn't know I had to do that every year. And, it's one of those things. She doesn't pay attention to that stuff. And she really doesn't pay attention to anything Mike does in the car business. So, you could probably say a blonde at, some things.
Generation Z, millennial, whatever you want to call them, that too. Like they just don't know. When I deal with people right now at about 25, 26 and less, it's not so much, I don't want to say struggle, but I have to explain things a little bit more than I do with people who are in their 30s, 40s and up, right? So, and vice versa, people that are in their 60s and 70s buying cars, I got to explain things a little bit different of how the internet works and that there's really no negotiating on pricing and stuff like that much anymore. So
generational gaps.
Yeah. And that's normal, right? That's not that big of a deal. But that's what this podcast is all about, is learning the inside traits and secrets and tricks on the car business to understand it, so that way you protect yourself the most. So with that being said, a couple other things that are, so I saw someone ask, are the maintenance plans worth it? Sometimes they are. You just got to look at what the cost is. Same thing with the warranty. Who administers it? Who stands behind it? What's the cost going to be on maintaining your car? All of that stuff matters when you're doing this. When I did the same thing with her maintenance program, because we don't offer a prepaid maintenance program at the Chevy store, but the Volkswagen store does. I'm like, okay, how much is the oil change? What's this cover? I didn't have to ask I did ask who managed it, because I didn't know if it was a Volkswagen thing or if it was our Ethos company. It was actually Volkswagen offering it. So I had to, I started asking questions like that, because I've always been a big fan, a maintenance plan fan. If I could get 10 years of oil changes for my Corvette for $1,000, $800, $700, I would take that in a heartbeat, because an oil change on a C7 is $150. On a C8 it only takes 7.5 quarts of oil. So you're billed out for 8 quarts. And so the oil changes are a little bit cheaper. On a C7 dry sump, it is 10 quarts of oil. So you're billed out for 10 quarts of oil. So the next part of the subject was going to be the best time to purchase the car or purchase the extended warranty. Do you do it at the time of purchase? Do you do it right when the warranty expires? Those are the two typical main questions that I get asked on when to do it. My firm belief is do it at the time you purchased a car. The reason why is that warranty is never going to be cheaper and is never going to cover more than when you purchased a car. On a used car, the dealership typically has to do some sort of inspection on the car in order to sell an extended warranty. So we'll use my dealership for an example. We used to, at 100,000 miles, we would only do an oil change and a detail and put this car on our bargain lot and let people know that you need to look at it. You need to inspect it. We don't do any of that. We sell it as is. And I go to the extent to tell my clients, if it breaks in 2 pieces as you're leaving here, congratulations, you own 2 cars. There's no bringing it back. There's no buyer's remorse. You buy it, you own it. And if it breaks, you gotta figure it out. So I really try to go to the extent of that. Well, our extended warranty company came in and said, hey, okay, well, you can now offer warranties up to 125,000 miles on a car. So now we're like, oh crap, well, now we got to start inspecting these cars. So we changed our policy internally up to 125,000 miles. But we do our customers right, and we do our warranty companies right? We treat everybody right and treat everybody fair. If we take a used car and attempt to use our extended warranty as a reconditioning process, that is not a good business relationship. Some companies do that. Some companies will tell you, oh, just wait 30 days, bring it in service partner, we'll pay your $50 copay. So that's not a good relationship with your warranty company. And if the dealership tells you that, you need to question your dealership of the relationship status is how they treat everybody else too. So a lot of times with these used cars, they have to do an inspection. So if you decide down the road, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, whatever, a year from the road and 10,000 more miles, and all of a sudden you had to just pay a big warranty cost and you just bought this car and you got a 5 or 6 year note on it. Now it's in your head like, oh shoot, maybe I should have bought that extended warranty they offered me. Now you come in, you got to spend another $250 to get that car re-inspected, because typically third-party companies are going to make sure that you're not trying to recondition your car on their dime. So extended warranty companies are a business. Insurance companies are a business. They want to take as many premiums as they can, and they want to pay out as little as they can, right? It's just that's the way insurance companies work. That's how you make profit, right? So that is out there, and that's going to be done. So firm believer that buying at the time you purchase the car is the best. So new car coverage, right? So new car coverage, I can do 84 months and 125,000 miles on my new car coverages. So you're talking that you buy a car today in 2020, you're covered to 2028 or 125,000 miles if you so desire, and if those are your driving habits. If you trade your car every 4 years, there's no reason to buy an 8-year warranty, 125,000 miles. You're never going to get there, and you're just wasting and burning cash. So used car warranties typically go off of time and mileage. 3-year 36, 4-year 48, maybe 5-year 60. Most of them don't do that, but typically they go off of 2 and 3-year, 4-year warranties in 12, 36, and 48 months. So you need to know that as well, that, okay, well, this is a 4-year 48, but I drive 20,000 miles a year. So you got to realize that you're paying for 2.5 years. So that's, again, a question asked back to the 5 questions you need to ask yourself is, do I really need it? So that's the type of things. Dave Ramsey will tell you to self-insure. I don't believe in that. I think that's bad, because if I can spend $2,000 on an extended warranty and I keep this car for a long, long time and things break on it and my warranty company's paid out $3,000, $4,000, and $5,000, I just wrote myself a multiple $1,000 check, and I played with the money aspect of it. bought an extended warranty for $2,000. The warranty company paid out $4,000. I made $2,000 on that deal. So it's a nice way to protect your cost over the life that you think you're going to have the car. So that's the things you need to look at as well.
Now, can't you cancel an extended warranty and do you receive any money back?
Are you reading my notes?
No.
Yeah, I got it wrote right here. Right?
I'm trying to hurry you up.
Refund policy / transfer. That's what I have wrote.
You were just
this
talking
is an hour-long podcast, by the way.
Yes, you were just talking about the fact that if you bought an 8-year, 125,000 mile warranty and you only kept your car for 4 years, couldn't you still essentially purchase that warranty and then cancel it?
Yes. So in a nutshell, what happens is you purchase. I'm gonna use simple math. 5-year warranty, 100,000 miles, and in 4 years, 50,000 miles. You decide that you want to trade your car or sell your car. You got a couple options. Now, if you trade your car to a dealership, you're just gonna cancel your warranty and get a prorated refund. And since we're using simple math of 5 years, 100,000 miles, and you had your car for 2.5 years and 50,000 miles, then you're going to get 50% of your money back, maybe a small admin fee. Some warranty companies charge like $50 cancellation fee, nothing crazy. So if you sell your car privately, now you take that extended warranty and you tell that consumer that, hey, listen, this car's got warranty on it for 2.5 years and 50,000 miles. Now that builds value into your resale if you decide to sell your car privately on Facebook, Craigslist, any of the internet websites out there that you can sell a car to. So now you build value into that retail unit that you're selling or your vehicle that you're selling on the private market, and you can do that. Typically speaking, there's a transfer fee. Sometimes it's $100, $150, somewhere in that range, maybe $75. It just depends on the warranty company. So now you can do that. And let's say that you're offering the extended warranty to this person. You're not going to tell them, hey, listen, there's a $75 transfer fee. You just want to include that into the purchase price of the vehicle. So if like, hey, listen, if you think you can get $23,000 out of this and it's got a warranty, hey, sell it for $24,000 and include the warranty. And if the person negotiates with you, it's like, listen, I can do $23,000, but I can't include the warranty in on it. And you can use that as a negotiating tactic too to get more money out of your car. So that's kind of a big value to do as well. So yes, refund policy, usually within 30 days. If you decide that you purchased a warranty and within 30 days, you're like, you know what, I really don't want this. Typically you get 100% of your money back, no questions asked, no admin fees charged. After 30 days, it's a prorated refund based off of time or mileage, whichever one is, I guess, less or greater. I don't know how to say that right.
I would think like if the mileage is greater than, or the time, if it's been 6 months or you have like say 6 months left and you've used up almost all your mileage, you would not sit there and give them 6 months worth of prorated fees left. Or
yeah, it's all regulated. So we don't have to do the math anymore. 10 years ago, 15, not even 10 years ago. Oh my gosh, that's crazy that I just said 10 years ago and it's not that. 17, 18, 19, 20 years ago, we would have to do it manually. Now we don't. We go in and we put the last 6 digits of the VIN in, we put your name in, we put your full VIN in, we put the mileage that your car has, and we click refund quote, and it tells us. So you don't have to do the math anymore. So that's why it's like I was drawing a blank on that.
So on these extended warranties, while we got back on that subject, where do you have to get the car serviced? Do you have to go to the dealership that you purchased the extended warranty from?
So you want to read your contract, but typically contracts will read any ASE certified business, right? So if Joe Schmo is ASE certified and he works for Billy Bob's mechanic shop, you can't go to Joe Schmo's house and have him submit a claim. You have to go to Billy Bob's mechanic shop, right? So, but any ASE certified business, you can do it. So I used that analogy earlier that, hey, I'm a mechanic. I own my own shop. I'm Billy Bob, right? And my car just broke down and I have an extended warranty. Now I'm going to call that extended warranty and say, hey, listen, the car's in here for this. It needs a new alternator, blah, blah, blah. Okay, sounds good. the claim's approved. And then at that point, they give you usually an approval number and they pay with a national credit card. So it's good at any place across the country. So if you're in Kentucky and you buy this extended warranty and you live in Alaska or Hawaii, because those are the two farthest points away I could possibly think of, then you're covered. And if you live there, you're covered. If you're visiting there, you're covered. Typically speaking, again, you need to look at the contract. But if you're visiting Canada, you're probably going to be covered. Mexico, it's hit or miss. So, but yeah, so you can go anywhere in the country and have it covered, and they just pay you with a national credit card. And that's a question you want to ask too. I would say that would be the sixth question is, if I'm out of the area, if I don't come to your dealership, how's it paid for? I'm not a big fan of, hey, you pay it, and we'll reimburse you. And I'll say this on the scam part. I didn't write this down. I was thinking about it, but I'll say it. A lot of times these companies that go after subprime buyers, they don't have the best extended warranties. They're doing it 100% for profit. They don't care what's covered. They don't care anything like that. And typically speaking, less than 1%, there's never do you have to get a warranty based off your financing. Some deep subprime lenders do say that, hey, we want to have this person have a warranty because this is a higher mileage car and we want the engine and stuff protected. But a lot of times they sell the warranty, right? It's their warranty company. And they may give you a rate discount, which I don't know how they do that. I don't understand that completely, because if I did that as a dealership, I would get in trouble because it's truth in lending. I don't understand how they do it. Same thing with bank fees. Subprime person comes in and buys a car. The bank will give you 21% interest, and then they charge us $1,000. I cannot raise my car $1,000 to recoup that cost. I just have to pay it. So really, the bank is getting 21% interest over the life of your loan plus $1,000. That's not truth in lending. I don't understand that. I never have understood that for 20 years, but that's what happens. So I'm not a big fan of that. And a lot of times in these extended warranties, they do cover roadside assistance that you don't ever have to pay for. They have trip interruption. You can look at that. Sometimes they'll pay for your hotel, or they'll give you a per diem. A lot of times it's $75 per day to pay for a hotel or food or meal while your car is broke down. Roadside assistance with out of gas, flat tire change, anything like that. A lot of that stuff is part of that extended warranty as well. So with that being said, that extended warranty, yes, it's thousands of dollars, typically speaking. I get that, but maybe you don't have to buy that AAA or put that addendum on your insurance policy to have roadside assistance, because that's part of your extended warranty. That's typically like a freebie, but it is what it's in there typically on all extended warranties.
Okay, now certified pre-owned. We talked about that at the very beginning. Basically, on a certified pre-owned, you tend to have some type of warranty given by the dealer. Should you buy an extended warranty with that? Can you buy an extended warranty with that? And, what's the differences in coverage?
Yeah, so you can buy an extended warranty with certified pre-owned, and typically those warranties are a little bit cheaper. But you got to realize that you're typically going to pay more money for a car that's certified pre-owned. I'm not a big certified pre-owned fan. My dealership's not a big certified pre-owned fan. We don't do a lot of CPO deals. And the reason we don't is because sometimes the strict standards of these CPO inspection process is so high that it just does nothing but cost the dealership money, which in turn costs the consumer money. So the Traverse is a prime example. The Chevy Traverse, we get these things all the time with 30 and 40,000 miles on it. 100% of the time, we have to change the tires, which are $1,100 and $1,200. We have to do new tires on this vehicle because they're out of General Motors certified pre-owned inspection base, their bare minimum, right? But you as an owner would never, ever, ever go and buy tires at 49% tire left, right? So we're forced to spend money, and there's probably liability. We don't do this. We just throw the tires away. We don't save them for something else. We don't, stack them in the back or whatever. We just throw them away. The tire people come and get them and they get shredded. So it's just wasting money. So we don't do that, but everyone's different. So you just got to look at it. Subaru, I think they've got a really good certified pre-owned deal. Subaru is a little bit different customer, a little bit different market. So our Subaru dealership does do a lot of CPO deals, and it takes up to 7 years, 100,000 mile powertrain. And if you want to buy a wrap, you can do that for like $1,500 or $1,800. It's like dirt cheap. So, and if I were to buy that same warranty without having the CPO, it may cost $3,000, right? $2,500. So there is some savings in there when you do CPO, but it just depends on the brand and whatnot.
And this was mentioned on the live stream, and I don't know what it is. We'll see if you do. GMPP warranty.
Yeah, GMPP is no longer around. That's General Motors Protection Plan. It's now called Chevrolet Protection, GMC Protection, Cadillac Protection, stuff like that. So I'm glad somebody brought that up because I had this wrote down as well and I hadn't talked about it yet. So we use our own warranty company. This is, because we like it. You can never get into this, right? This is something that you would never, ever think to ask or never really even know. I don't like to sell GMPP Chevrolet Protection Plan because there are some strings attached to it. And to the best of my knowledge, coming from the finance director at my dealership, I haven't been able to check this out personally, but coming from him, he tells me that say you have something going on and they have to take your engine apart and they get down into your engine and they see a part worn, not broken. It's about to break. It's close to breaking. It's going to fail a year from now, 3 months from now, 10 miles from now, whatever, but it's not a failed part. General Motors Protection Plan, Chevrolet Protection Plan, whatever you want to call it, is not going to cover that replacement part. You have to pay for it. My dealership's warranty, if we're in there and we see this part's going to fail, we call the warranty company up and like, no problem, you're good to go. So this is the analogy that I like to use on this is imagine if you go to the doctor and the doctor says, hey, we need to do one single bypass heart surgery. Well, they get you opened up and they're like, oh crap, this guy needs a triple bypass, right? But they have to stop what they're doing, sew you back up, call the insurance company to get authorization, and then go into and do another surgery. That's the analogy I like to use on this. And that I think makes sense with most people that if you see as a mechanic, if I see something's going to fail, I want that fixed. I don't want to take that expense. I don't want to take that time. I don't want that frustration. I don't want that inconvenience. And most importantly, it always happens this way. As soon as we're out of our warranty period, that breaks and now it's my cost as well. So that's the thing as well. So GM does sell a good warranty. So I'm not bashing that product at all. My dealership just chooses not to sell it because we have our own company that we're invested into, that we're part of and that we own. Like I mentioned again in the broadcast. So, but that's the take on it. And that's coming straight from my finance director's mouth is where I'm getting that information from. So if anybody's GM's watching and that's not true, please tell me. I'll rebuttal back and tell people that's not true. But don't call my dealership and say that he's giving bad information.
You're funny.
Yeah.
Let's hit on the lifetime warranties a little bit that some dealerships offer. Those are strictly a dealership or dealership group offering that, which means you would probably have to have it serviced there, correct?
Right. So you may be able to get service other place. I've got a lifetime warranty contract sitting on my desk, and I don't know why I kept escaping this. It's on my fridge, and I never read it. So lifetime warranty contracts are very minimal coverage with huge upsides towards the dealership that they'll never have to make a claim. Again, a third-party company does this. It's usually just cost the dealership a few $100 per warranty that they sell or they do. And they still have to buy that warranty. So every time they sell a car, they have to do a contract and they have to pay money towards a warranty company to do it. It's not just free, right? They don't just take the risk. The warranty company takes the risk and the exposure of making a claim. So when I've put this stuff out there, I always test things with salespeople. It's hilarious because I'll come out there and I'll say something negative on social media. I'm like, extended lifetime warranties are junk. Prove me wrong, right? I'll do that. And all of a sudden I'll have salespeople pop in to try to prove me wrong, which is good, which is the purpose of the the post. The fact of it is I'm looking for good stories out of that. I'm looking for, hey, listen, we've done it this many times, or we do this and we stand behind our product. So, but you got to look at it. A big terminology on these lifetime powertrain warranties is, one, it's powertrain, and two, it says internally lubricated parts. Internally lubricated parts are extremely low risk of failing. So that means some type of liquid touches, oil, transmission fluid, something like that. Maybe some coolant. Most likely does not cover your water pump. That's something that fails here and there. We had it fail on the Malibu. I had it fail on the Malibu. That was covered under powertrain warranty. So under the factory powertrain warranty. But at the same time, our Pontiac Grand Prix had an airbag sensor go bad, and it was $1,200, and I didn't have to pay for it. The extended warranty did. And then most extended warranties do have a copay. They have some type of participation. A lot of times it's $50 or $100. If you have a new car or used car warranty, again, new car warranty is exclusionary, used car warranty is stated. I would never do anything over $100 copay. If a dealership's doing $250, whatever, that's fine. There's also what's called a reducing deductible. Reducing deductible rewards you from coming back to the dealership. So if they have a $50 or $100 reducing deductible, then that means you go to the dealership that you bought it from and you don't pay that deductible. So it's rewards you, and it rewards the dealership to get the warranty work, because the warranty companies do pay full retail parts, full retail warranty labor. So it's good. So warranty labor right now, typically speaking, I don't know what the national average is, but I know the dealerships out there, they're typically $100 to $150 an hour. So we have a variable labor rate at our dealership depending on expertise of the technician and the work and stuff like that. But ours is typically around $150 an hour. So you're talking 2 hours of labor to do a small part. You know, the old infamous saying is that the laborers cost more than the part. It's very, very true to this day. So for the podcast portion, we probably got maybe one or two questions that we could probably do.
I have one.
Perfect.
On our F&I products that we can buy, extended warranty, gap insurance, all that stuff, do we have to roll it into a loan, or can you pay for it outright?
No, you can pay for it outright, and it's going to be on your bill of sale. Oh, that reminded me. I forgot. Why did I not write this down? You can pay anything out of pocket, right? So you don't have to put it into the loan. But again, I mentioned this earlier, and I don't know why I didn't trigger that on this earlier to make sure you asked this question. But 9 times out of 10, when you're pitching an extended warranty, you're making payments. So the finance manager will say, listen, for $10 more per month, you can have this. For $20 more per month, you can have this. For $30 more per month, you can have this. And their job is to sell you this stuff. Their job is to build value in it. That way you see the value, you say yes, and they purchase it. And this happens at every dealership across the country, and a lot of it is good. But the question that does not get asked a lot of times, that I see this people in the Beyond the Showroom Facebook group, I see them talk about that. I get questions, private questions on it. Like, hey, listen, I bought a car last week and they told me it was $20 per month, but I got home and then I saw the contract and I saw there was $3,000 of charges on there that I didn't realize it. I bought a $20,000 car and now I'm financing $24,000. I see questions like that all the time. So, with that being said, you need to make sure you understand the price of these warranties. A typical warranty is going to cost you somewhere around $2,500 or $2,500, maybe just a little over $3,000. That a good warranty is going to cost you that regardless of the vehicle. It's a Corvette, it's a Silverado, it's a Honda, it's a Toyota. It doesn't matter what it is. Bank on $3,000 and you'll be golden. If it's a little over, sweet. If it's under, it's a payday and you're coming out ahead. Key replacement, sometimes $499, $599, talking about dent ding coverage, $599, $699, $799 is typical cost. Paint protection, $699, $79, $899. If you go to a luxury car dealer, they're going to charge you $1,500. They do it all the time. It's the same stuff you get at the Chevy store for $500 or $600 or $700. So you know, those are the questions you definitely need to ask. Is just how much is this stuff? Hey, listen. that extra $40 I'm okay with. I can budget that. I can afford that. I can budget $40 per month much easier than a $5,000 catastrophic engine failure, transmission failure, or a $1,200 part and labor claim in there. I think the national average, actually, I'm going to look that up before I say that. It's not cheap. So national average auto repair bill. So I I typed bill wrong. I was like, what? So, but you definitely need to ask what the cost of that stuff is. So it's not really pulling up anything, but I'm thinking around $800 is each labor ticket. So I know my dealership, customer pay is setting right around $700 per repair order. So if you have a $500 car payment and you have a $700 repair bill, now all of a sudden you have a $1,300 car payment due that month. So doing that $40 extra per month is much easier to budget than all of a sudden $1,300 for 1 month or whatever the case may be. So that's the way you look at it as well. You just got to look at that. You just got to know it up front. What's this costing me?
Sounds good.
Good. Like that?
Sure.
All right.
I mean, you know me. I leave all the money up to you.
All right. With that being said, for the podcast listeners at home in their car being quarantined, we really appreciate you listening. This is the end of this show. Again, every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. On the Chevy Dude YouTube channel, we go live, and then 6 a.m. Wednesday morning, the following Wednesday morning, we push this to all the podcast outlets. And of course, you can join the Beyond the Showroom Facebook group. You can like the Chevy Dude YouTube page and follow us on Facebook as well. So everybody listening, thanks again for watching. See, I messed up. Thanks again for listening. Have a great day and drive safely.
Okay, now there has been a lot of talk about leasing, so I think we need to be working on that leasing podcast.
Yeah, I know. That's been a thing that I've been working on is leasing. Leasing's tricky because I don't do it a whole lot at the dealership, so I want to make sure that I'm researching it correctly. And someone like Dave Ramsey, I'm sure, could just like wipe me all over and say that I'm wrong on this, I'm wrong on that, stuff like that. So I want to make sure that I give good information on that. I did do a leasing contract, which you can how to read a lease contract, but that was just real basic, so that way you knew that if you're leasing a car that you had all the true and accurate numbers on everything. So. But leasing. I'm a big lease fan. General Motors recently, the leasing's not been good since we came out of the recession, depression. I guess recession back in 2008, 2009. They've never just done leasing ever again really good. I don't know if that's my dealership or that's nationwide. I know there's dealerships out there that do a lot of leasing. The number one Chevrolet salesman in the world is Ali Reda up in Dearborn, Michigan. Good personal friend of mine. Love him to death. He does a lot of leasing because he's Muslim, and the Muslim faith don't believe in paying interest, and there's no interest rate on a lease, so they get around their faith by leasing. So he does a lot of leasing up there in Detroit, but that's a different region. So, and like if you look at my dealership's used car inventory, you'll see my used car inventory being 2 and 3 year old Traverses, 2 and 3 year old double cab trucks, 2 and 3 year old Equinoxes. They all come out of Detroit, Toledo area because they're all being leased up there because of the manufacturers. So leasing is a good thing. You just got to remember that you're guaranteeing your depreciation. So if you have a $600 a month lease payment, times it by 36, that guarantees your depreciation. You don't have another expense over that. So you don't have any obligation to pay the bank more money. You don't have to worry about you don't have to worry about if, back in 08 and 9, $5 gallon gas and those big trucks and SUVs just dumped. Now imagine if you own a car that you bought 3 or 4 years ago. Now cars don't sell. Everybody wants SUVs. So SUVs are holding their value better. So that's the things you can't see down the road. And that's why leasing's good.
Yeah. We leased until we moved down here.
Right.
Because when we lived in northern Indiana, we didn't drive that much. I had a, oh my gosh, a Saab.
Saab 97X.
Yeah, I had a Saab 97X. We did a 20,000 2-year lease, and I only put 16,000 miles on that thing. Of course, we regret not buying it at the end, but that was when the whole recession was hitting and found out that we could have purchased the car for a heck of a lot
Yeah,
less than what.
Yeah, it was the last day of the month, and my dealership. This is a $45,000 Saab 97X, basically a Buick Rainier, and $45,000. I did a 2-year, 20,000 mile year lease, 20,000 total miles, 10,000 mile year lease for $9,500, tax, title, license, everything. I did a 1-pay lease and just paid it all at one time, and then at the end, we could bought that car for $15,000. So for $25,000, I was able to buy a $45,000 car. Well, I did that on the last day of the month because the dealership I worked for, we need to hit an objective. And the owner said, anybody who does this, 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 and this, then, we'll take care of you. So that's why I got down to $9,500. Well, last day of the month came 2 years later, and I wasn't thinking that what I could buy this car for. And I just turned it in. Well, the next day I'm like, oh shoot, I should have bought that car, and I couldn't buy it. I tried to buy it on auction, but it just didn't work out. So it went up to Ohio somewhere, northeast Ohio.
Yeah. Well, now we just drive too many miles to really lease a vehicle.
Yeah, and I'm just really good at reselling my cars, so I haven't had an issue, right? I sold the Camaro for retail, right? So I was like, I'm glad I didn't lease that. So lately I've just been getting lucky on selling cars. Usually I'm not lucky at buying things and selling things. That's just not my forte, but for my personal stuff. But just because I'm usually too busy and I just deal with it. And it's like, I'm losing $2,000 on this. I'm just, my time's worth $2,000. So I'll just move on and take the loss and move on. But a lot of people lease cars, supercar people, they lease their cars a lot of times because it minimizes their cost.
We had a question come in right after you quit recording for the podcast. Am I cutting out?
No, you're fine.
Oh, it sounds like it on my side. What about the cheap oil changes you can get at Walmart? Do you recommend those for cars?
The cheap oil changes are designed as a hook, right? So your Chevy Malibu, they advertise a 1995 oil change, I guess. I don't know what it is. I mean, there's no such thing as a 1995 oil change anymore. And if you pay them the 1995, they're putting the wrong oil in your car, and that's going to avoid your warranty if something ever happens. So, so once you get in there and they put the proper oil in it, it's not going to be 1995 anymore. I don't know what the hook oil change numbers are, but I always recommend going to the dealership. There's no price difference in dealership doing an oil change versus the corner Valvolines or anything like that. Nothing against them. They all do good work. So, I mean, it's not that hard to change the oil. I mean, I did it myself, right? I've changed oil myself. If I can do it, anybody can do it. So, it's nice to go to one place and have a record of it. And if something ever comes up, then you're like, well, here's the record. And I did have a customer of mine, which is a friend of mine too, which I can't believe it didn't cost a friendship. But I had a friend that I sold an Equinox to. Well, she went into Pennzoil, and Pennzoil just simply reset the oil life monitor and said that she didn't need an oil change. Well, her engine blew up, and Pennzoil was like, we're not, the big company versus one man right. And they basically told her to pound sand, and she had to, spend $6,000 to put a new engine in her car. So it kind of sucked.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's good to have a relationship with that same person. I don't think she was that good of maintaining her car. So they had a little bit of an out. They're like, well, you didn't change your oil last time for 12,000 miles, right? So it's kind of the out, and, that she was going all over the place to get an oil change, and she had no records and stuff like that. But it is what it is. I always like going to the same place and having the record. Carfax does show that, but not every place reports the Carfax nowadays. So it's good to, have that. in one spot.
AC asked Mrs. Chevy Dude and Mr. Chevy Dude. I guess you're now Mr. Chevy Dude.
Mr. Chevy Dude.
What are your dream cars? And he also asked earlier if the C8 was your dream car.
I am referred to as El Conquistador in our household.
That's what you think. I don't ever say that to you.
I can't even spell it, but I want you to call me. Believe it or not, I've never been like that huge of a car person. I know what your dream car was. I don't know if it still is, but
it was one thing. I honestly couldn't tell you now. I mean, I would think if money was no option, I'd be going after the Bugattis and other Highline.
Oh yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want? I
have rich taste.
I didn't even hear. Did you guys see this supercar? I guess this guy was drunk in New York today and just wrecked right into a minivan in this $1 million car. I'd never even heard of it, and it's based off of a Porsche Carrera GT, which is a super awesome car. That's such an awesome car. But this was a Gambala Mirage GT, and if you look it up, it's an $800,000 car, like in 2013. So now they're over $1 million when I was looking for them used online. So anything like that is always a dream car, but I've never really been like that big of a car person. But good old American muscle, that's me.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, right now, if I was to buy another car, I would probably stick with another Tesla just because I do enjoy the electric part.
Yeah, I had to put gas in the Corvette for you yesterday because you didn't know how to do it.
I know how to put gas in the car. I just let you do it.
Did you see that guy recording us as we were leaving?
No.
Yeah, because we got two Corvettes. I had the C8 and she had the C7. And I didn't need gas, but she did. So I let her get in front of me and I pulled up behind her and put the card in. And guy was recording us as we were leaving. And of course, the C7 exhaust sounds absolutely amazing. The Corsa exhaust, love that Corsa exhaust, and just sounds awesome. Of course, Raphael said, "Que bueno el conquistador."
Yeah, and I didn't start hitting that C7 until we got on the ramp to get going. So. Yeah. It wasn't that loud. And somebody did mention earlier at the beginning of the podcast, C8 versus C7 race.
Yeah, I know. We need to find somebody who can race the C7 or drive the C7.
No, you need somebody who can.
Oh, yeah, we talked about that.
You'll drive the C7, and probably Anya will be taught to drive the C8.
Our 19-year-old daughter will race me. We did that in the C7 versus Camaro, and she spanked me. But that's just transmission versus... It's like, I know I won't win on this versus the C8. There's no way the C7 can beat the C8.
With as hard as that thing launches, that's the scary part because I'm not sure if she can handle how hard that thing launches.
She'll handle it just fine.
We'll see.
She'll handle it just fine. She's a daredevil like me, so she'll handle it just fine.
And of course, rumor mill. Did you see I don't know if it was Speed Society or somebody I saw today posted an article within this week. I just saw it today about the ZR1 being the hybrid and 900 horsepower.
Yeah.
And they said confirmed.
Yeah, they always say confirmed. I mean, they post pictures of cars pre-launch and they're like confirmed, right?
The article said
everything says confirmed.
Senior GM representative or
it's
whatever.
It's clickbait. So and they might be right, but good for them. To
me, 900 horsepower is not enough.
So I think they need on the Z06 they need to hit 800. I think it needs to be 801.
I think that's going to be too much on the Z06.
And I think 1,000 plus. I think they need 4-digit horsepower number on the ZR1.
I think they need to make their electric hybrid something totally different and not the ZR1.
I really don't think they're going to do a hybrid, but maybe they are, because they're done on hybrids. But they're probably going to go after like the NSX market with the way they do their hybrid. But we said it Friday night, during the live Q&A there. But the prototypes got covers over the wheels so you can't see them in there, so there's something, there's motors on each one of those, which I was told
you go all-wheel drive, you can put the electric motor on, the front wheels.
Yeah.
You got the engine on the back wheels, and you have an all-wheel drive car.
Yeah. So, and my contact with GM told me back in 17 that everything about the C8 and what the ZR1 was going to do and stuff like that, the ZR1 and the C7, what the Z06 was going to do, what the ZR1 is going to do, and what most importantly, the C8. And that person was dead on 100% of everything that I was told on the C8 was dead on 100%. Very, very accurate information, down to knowing where they were going to reveal it, knowing that it was about the moon landing, knew everything, which again, I proved that to be, that I knew that information because I put it in videos before it was launched, and known just little Easter eggs that nobody knew to find, but I can come out and say, listen, see this. And I got Easter eggs in a lot of my videos that nobody catches on to. But it's just so that I can be like, I've got information. I'm going to do right by GM and not share it. I'm glad I know it. It's cool. I can do my job a little bit better. But I'll throw a little Easter egg out there and nobody will see it. Nobody will do it, but I can at least have credibility saying I knew,
So let's debate this: all-wheel drive versus rear-wheel drive. Couple comments coming in saying, most mid-engine cars are going all-wheel drive. So what would be the benefit of an all-wheel drive?
I've never driven an all-wheel drive car, a supercar, so I don't know. Like a McLaren 720 is all-wheel drive, and Street Speed, owned one, and I never got to drive it. I mean, he would have let me drove it, but I never got to. But he was like, you can't do burnouts, you just have to launch. But now having the mid-engine Corvette versus the C7, I mean, you don't need to do a burnout in that car. And that thing, as as people will see here soon, this car launches so hard. So it's just interesting. I don't know. I can't answer that question until I drive them.
Do you think it's gonna stick to the road better?
It's not going to stick to the road better. It helps out from start. So four-wheel drive and all-wheel drive do not help you stay on the road better. It helps you on the starts and to get through rough terrain on four-wheel drive trucks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I rarely ever use four-wheel drive when we had a Durango.
Nobody ever does. I can pretty much get everywhere with a two-wheel drive with a locking rear differential that I can with a four-wheel drive truck.
Yeah, I've had to learn. I've had a lot of rear-wheel drive cars.
Yeah.
So I've had to learn how to handle those things.
Yep. So they asked if GM's going to launch Corvette brand outside of Chevy. No. So you can answer a couple questions.
Everybody wants that. I would love to see a Corvette, basically like the Blazer. I want to see a nice, super performance SUV, that type of thing. That would be wonderful and stuff. And a Tesla versus a C8 race, AC, we need to get a better Tesla. I guess is how I want to put it. We need that P100D with Ludacris in order to even attempt a race against the C8. So better traction improves handling. And I would agree with that. Let's see, what else can we talk about? You guys have all had your own little conversations going tonight. That's been hard to find where the questions are. Oh, great. Chevy Dude is back.
Yes.
That's good because everybody's just having their own little conversations here.
So, but it's interesting. So, we're going to probably finish up here, but a couple videos I'll give you a couple videos that's going to come up. I'm not sure which one.
What is coming up this week?
Let me look here. So that reminds me, I don't think I've got a thumbnail for tomorrow's video, which is not good, but, so we went out and launched the car. You saw on Instagram, I did some burnouts.
Yeah.
Donuts, I mean.
Hold on. This question that Tom asked is actually very good. Do you know what the distance for stopping is from 60 to 0?
I think they published it. It'd take me too long to find it, but yeah.
So they don't know that.
They do have a 0 to 100 to 0 time. It would be 0 to 100 to 0. So, No, I think they do have I think they do have a 60-mile-an-hour stopping time. They have it published, but I'd have to go into Global Connect and get it.
And honestly, who wants to stop that hard? Oh, mid-engine Camaro. Have you seen the renderings for that? It's basically, not much off of a Corvette, and it's like there's no point in a mid-engine Camaro.
No.
I mean, that's crazy.
It's amazing.
When are they going to make the Mustang a mid-engine?
I don't know.
Sitting there trying to, get something.
Convertibles, they'll probably, once GM gets back into production, we'll probably see a convertible 3 weeks, probably start about 3 weeks after they get into production is my anticipation. So if they come back and say, hey, listen, we're going to start Corvette production on May 1st, I would say May 21st would be the first time you see a Corvette for standard convertible, for production. Yeah, distant. They do, Jeff. You're right. They usually publish as a 60-0 distance, not time. That's right. That's kind of what I was thinking. So, but guys, we really appreciate you being here. We'll be back on Friday night. Since we're all quarantined, we're doing the Friday nights. 4,200 of you on tonight. Appreciate that. As always, make sure you share the stream. Tell everybody to follow. And we'll keep doing these. We're enjoying them. We're still messing with the format a little bit. We're probably going to have to start cutting these off at an hour and a half for sure. And, a few minutes to talk to everybody when we get on. An hour and 10-minute podcasting, then a few minutes afterwards and answer any questions that we can possibly get to. They're maybe off topic. But Friday nights, 7 p.m. Again, we'll do live Q&A on anything you want to talk about.
Anything. Most of the time it ends up being C8, but we're willing to talk about anything that we can legally talk about.
Yes, correct. So guys, we really appreciate you being here. We'll see you on Friday. As always, have a great day and drive safely.